And good day. Hello, great day today. It is Saturday. I have a small business website architecture guide that I'd love to cover with you. I really do not want to waste any time. What I want to do is just double check that we are live. Everything's moving along well. Great. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's small business website architecture guide, what I would like you to walk away from this video knowing and understanding is number one, how to set up your permalink structure. Two, how to set up header footer menus for internal linking. So that's header and footer cosmetic internal linking, also body text briefly. Three, how to choose structure between your hard silo or a flat silo, right? Like no matter what, we're siloing our website through internal linking, but how do we want it set up? Four, how to continue website traffic growth, setting up your blog section while supporting content is also increasing sales. Creating info content that is assisting a sale, right? How do you set that up? How do you do it? How do we look at it? What's the best approach? And five, do's and don'ts of website architecture. Now, this video comes about because I have a client. Here's their website. We'll divulge into that, but I want to answer these questions, and these questions will give you these answers, right? And I'll give you live examples. I'll share with you how to do these things. I don't want to waste any time at all going to Canolas today. So with that being said, here's the email that they sent. We had a small session. We're working on projects together. Number one, he wanted me to answer this. You say you have locations beneath each primary service as follows. Just to confirm the location is coming off the home page. Is that what you would like? So the reason for this question is because you'll see a lot of sites, all right? You'll see a lot of sites, even my own. When you're looking at a website, you have the home page. And what you'll notice is if you were to click on, say, another page, let's just say it was, tiered backlinks, right? If I were to click on another one, tiered backlinks, this is a top level page, okay? So this being a top level page, the question here that I want you to understand is how do you determine, and that's what he's asking, do you want me to put, in this case, it's a roofing website, roofing services / roofing in city, or do you just want me to put roofing services, that's a page, and then have roofing in city? How do we understand which structure to use? Well, how did I determine that I want his structure to look like this, right? Here's our homepage. I should have brought this up initially. We have our website, roofing services. That's our top level page where we will internally link to all of our location pages. And right here is roofing. These are the locations that he wants to go for. I told him to build those off of the root. He wants to know, why am I not keeping the top level page, roofing services, in the structure? Why did we decide to do this, right? How we decide to go about doing this, or how we determine which structure to utilize, just like we determine how many words we need or how many images or what's the best optimization, is based upon what Google is already rewarding, right? So in order to come up with an answer, regardless of your business, if you want to rank for car accident lawyer in Austin, right? I need to come out here and see what type of pages is Google rewarding. If Google is the main place that you want to be seen, right? Which in my case, yes, of course. So when we scroll down the page here, if this is my area, I need to take a look and see, hey, what type of pages are being rewarded? Am I noticing that it's mostly directories, citation sources, or informational content, or web pages that have a hard silo, meaning website.com / keyword / location / whatever it is? There is a structure, a subfolder structure in place, all right? A hard silo. So what we're looking at here is, look at this. The top level page is whatever this is. You can see down in the left-hand corner when I hover over, it's going to show, okay, this is a hard silo. Go down to the next one. This is a top level page. All right. Go down to the next. We have 2 levels deep. Home page. 1, 2, 3. 2 levels deep. Top level page. And top level page. So homepage and top level pages trumped the hard silo. So when I'm also inside of Austin, I wouldn't just take one word for it. What I would do is I would look at my next secondary location. If I wanted to rank in Austin, I would assume I would also want to rank in, let's just say, for instance, let's go to Lockhart. So Lockhart, TX. Now, the reason why I also want to look at my other locations is because I don't only want to rank for one thing in one area, right? I don't want to rank for one service. So what we're trying to understand or accomplish is we need to understand before planning our website architecture, which website architecture is Google rewarding. It's generally very clear and evident that if I look at the top 10 winners, if there is more than 6 sites or more than 5 sites that have a particular type of a site architecture, it's very clear and easy for me to distinguish, hey, they're rewarding this in this area for this niche. Every niche I have found is wildly different. I've been burned in the past. In my humble opinion, if I'm sharing this with you, I would really take a look at website architecture. What type of web page does Google want to see? And that's exactly what we want to showcase to them. All right. So we're looking at determining for the website structure or architecture, do we want a hard silo or do we want to keep the site relatively flat, but still take care of our internal linking? This is how we come up with the answer. I put in the primary key term first and foremost in Austin. Now I'm looking at another area to determine what's being rewarded here. In this particular case, I'm seeing this again. 1, 2. That's going to be a top level, 2 and 2, 2 versus 2. So now I have a 3. I have 4. So I'm leaning towards a silo here. Yep. Again. So if these were my areas, I would look at all my areas. Like in this case, looking at my secondary area, I can see, hey, that first one, it was pretty, even as far as structure. And then when I'm looking at my secondary location, and this is all hypothetical, right? I looked at Austin and I pulled one out of the hat and I'm saying, hey, I want to rank in these places. What's Google rewarding? I've then determined my architecture based on that. Let's move on. So that's how we came to that. So to answer this gentleman's question about the structuring, yes, I personally, for your site, you have your homepage, you have your roofing services page, and then you have your roofing Kent, roofing Bromley, roofing Bexley, roofing, right? Your location pages. These are all equals, but you being the business owner, right, for marketing, fully are aware and understand that the top level page that's not only going to show up inside of your navigation menu is going to be roofing services. That's your housing page. That's your pillar page. That's your top level page. We offer roofing services. I'm establishing the entity. See, the brand is, I just named it branded roofing site. Main entity of page, home page, is I'm the brand. Who am I? What do I do? Where do I do it? So homepage is who I am. The next level is what do I do? And then we can start talking about, well, where do we do it? Now, how we structure it or how we internally link it is up to us as a webmaster based upon what Google is rewarding. All right, let's move on. So the very next thing that I want to cover and share with you inside of this guide, we're going to go right back over here. Answer number 2, how to set up header footer menus for internal linking. All right. Now, this was a very, very common theme within our phone call with this particular client here. So I want to answer this one last time. So what I did is I just took a quick picture of his site. He only does one thing. They only do roofing. Okay. With that being said, when we have our top level menus here, this is our header, we're also going to do the same thing. And this, I took a picture of his footer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the headers and the footers. So when we're taking care of our internal linking, what I like to do, and it's up to you depending on how big your website is, locations, whatever the case is, I want to put my top level pages here because these are generally the most important pages, right? These are my pillar page. I'm talking about everything that I do in the locations I service. right? I'm going to put these up here. So if I do roofing, in this case, I do roofing, I do flat roof, I do tiled roof, and I do fascia board, and I do lead work. Those are the 5 services that I'm going to put at the top. The drop down menus, as you can see here, will be the locations. The structure will look exactly like this. So top level page, or the anchor text that's in the header, see where it says roofing here? This will now become roofing services because that's the name of the page. Then in that drop down, it will be roofing Kent, roofing Bronsley, roofing Bexley, roofing, you with me? That drop down is going to be these locations. I have created the drop down menu for right here. On top of that, I've also created for the footer, I'm going to repeat the same thing. These top level pages, whether I want to include every link in the footer site-wide to each of the location pages, is wildly dependent on, am I targeting multiple states? Am I targeting multiple cities? There's a lot of questions to be had. For this particular site, it's a small area, right? Like this is right inside of a location that's called Kent. So Kent is in the UK. This is the area that we want to service. Each of these locations, I've already looked and seen. If I'm targeting roofing Kent, roofing Bromley, roofing Bexley, is Google showing different results? And the answer is yes. So this means I can put those links there. I'm not going to compete with myself by any stretch of the imagination because Google's rewarding separate pages. So I'm going to put in the header, just we already talked about that. I'm going to repeat it again in the footer, right? I'm going to put right here, roofing services, and I'm going to list all the locations. Why? Because I'm in a tight area. Can't do this on a statewide site or some crazy large site. But in this case, yes. All right. So that's how we determined that. And let's move on to the next element here. How to set up header and footer menus for internal linking. We just went through it. As far as understanding if you're going to be able to, which locations to target, or am I going to compete with myself? Can I add these links? You literally will lean on Google. See how I came up with the answer? Here, I'll show you this. Let's go to roofing Kent, UK, right? So how I know that I could put those in the header and the footer without having any run-ins or any fighting with myself is if I'm targeting roofing Kent, UK, and then if I come over here and I go to roofing in, I think it's Bromley, I'm only typing this in. I'm not changing geo modifiers just to give you the process, okay? But here's what we're doing. So these are same service in technically the same area, but I've already done the homework ahead of time. I've already removed locations. I've already removed services. The list that we have, right, is what we're going to run with. I'm not competing. It's going to be great. They're all considered different services. I've already done the homework. One of the homeworks to determine if I want to have location pages is by looking it up in Google. So I've looked up roofing Kent, UK. Here's the answers that they're giving me. Check trade, we can see here that this is going to be roofer Kent. We have 56. This is a unique page. Kent roofers, when we start seeing these types of plays, this is a good clear sign. Come down here, Swifting. So this right here is going to be a home page. Again, roofers in Kent. This is a internal page pointing to a Kent specific page. Right here, London and Kent roofing. This is going to a home page. Remember those winners. Now we're going to Bromley, which is 15 mile, not far, not that far, still considered Kent, right? So in any case, when we scroll down here, what we're going to see, we have a new player in town. Great. Same area, very, very close, but this is a new page. Same website, different page, right? Let's move on. So, okay, we're clear on the first winner. Let's move down the list. This wasn't here before. Now we have unique Bexley pages targeting. Look at this person even named themselves Bexley and Bromley Roofing. Gee, I wonder if they're a lead gen. Who knows? I don't know. But in any case, we look at this. Then we go to here. Unique pages, unique services. This is how I determine which location pages I want to have. Am I going to fight with myself? Am I going to cause issues with myself? I do this process for services, right? Like he does tile roofs, flat roofs, and metal roofs, right? Or whatever it is. I look those up per location. Is Google rewarding different pages? Great. All right. Then I did it for locations. Is Google rewarding separate pages or are they showing the same stuff? Anything they showed the same stuff on, I narrowed it down to one. Any locations that they showed the same thing on, I took away that location. Simple, right? Google will give you the answers. Let's move on. All right. 3, how to choose structure between hard silo and flat silo architecture. We actually covered that first in the setup of your permalink structure. The setup of your permalink structure is as follows. This is what I mean by permalinks. Well, this is what the world means. Yes, I know that these are capitalized. I didn't take the time. I know that they're not supposed to be that way. Okay. But with that being said, this is exactly how we're going to run it. We have our top level page, which is going to be, in this case, fascia boards. And then we're going to do fascia boards plus location. Why? Because when I went and looked, Google was rewarding either home pages or top level pages. So when we create our top level page, my pillar page, not only will I have my internal links in the head, not only will I have my internal links in the foot to each service, but also on the individual page. Let's say, for instance, we're on the roofing service page or the fascia boards page or the flat roof page. These are individual services. See how I've just popped this out and I did this specific thing on purpose. This is very, very common. People create either a grid or a table. It'll have an image with a title, a header. So it'll be a header, image, header, description, right? What that will be is a perfect place to internally link to my locations that I offer that service in. So looking at this example here, see how we have fascia boards? The page that I'm on is the fascia board page. I'm internally linking to fascia boards. This right here is the Bexley page. This right here is this page. This one here is going to be this page. You with me? This way I can internally link not only with image, but also a header and a contextual paragraph, like a text link. So I'm hitting it with the header link going to the location. I'm hitting it with an image internal link going to the location. Then I'm hitting it with another contextual inside the P tag, because that's going to be a P tag right here going to the page. That's 3 body internal links pointing to the page plus header and footer. Is it clear and evident which pages are most important to Google? Absolutely. And if it wasn't clear, it will be made clear when we start building out supporting content, our blog content, our assisted sales copy, right? The only point to have a blog is to support a sale. If there's not a value add on your website, the page shouldn't be there. All right, let's move on. And a few months back, 5-6 months ago, I would have got combated on this. But after this helpful content update, you guys are with me now. You do not create content to create content or fill some type of semantic gap. No. There has to be a clear and evident reason why we're creating content. Is it giving or providing value? Yes or no? And if it's not, it shouldn't be there. And if you are still doing that, you will be punished. But at least I have been. Moving on. So, how to continue website traffic growth, setting up a blog section, supporting content while increasing sales. Great. Perfect segue, right? So let's talk about this. How to continue your traffic growth, setting up your blog section, and supporting your content, right? I'm supporting my content while increasing the site's growth, and I can assist with the sale. How do we do this? And then when I explained this initially to the client, he actually came back with a question. And he said, hey, supporting content, you want me to do it like this? Should I also do it for the locations? See, in the past, I would have said definitely, absolutely. But the problem with informational intent, right? See, in the past, what I would have said is, all right, let's just use this example since we're on it. See how we have roofing services? I would have website.com, this right here, roofing services, and then you create your supporting content to support the main topic, which is roofing service. What does a new roof cost, right? See, in the past, 4 or 5 months ago, I would have said, hey, let's since we have a unique location service page, let's create a supporting piece of content off the Kent page that's how much does a roof cost in Kent. What I quickly realized is this is not always effective generally you end up competing with yourself a lot when targeting informational queries. When I'm targeting high commercial intent, I can have duplicated stuff, right? Because it's location based. But when it's informational, there's too much overlap. It was not successful for us, at least in a few campaigns. All right. Like we were doubling down because once you get all your link building and you do all your work, I've set up the pages, the design is done. I've done all the off page. We're running traffic. Like we're clicking. We're on month 6, number 8. Like I need a deliverable. So let's execute on work, right? More is not always better. So what I would highly recommend generally is going to be this. All right. When creating supporting content, I am going to support the main idea only. All right. Then within those pages, I link to the supporting content location pages. So not only am I supporting the main idea, I'm also supporting the locations, building more internal links to the pages that are most valuable. Supporting content or informational content is not as valuable as high commercial intent, right? Because the only objective of your website is to make dollars. So if we're accessing value by dollars being able to generate, it's a no-brainer, right? So what I would recommend is this, all right? To answer his question specifically, no, do not create geo-specific informational content unless there's always a caveat. There's never a blank statement, right? The caveat is if you go and look and Google is rewarding this for your niche in your areas, then of course do it. But most of the time I find that we can cover all of the keywords plus the location variations with one supporting piece of content, right? Because the informational intent is different. There's something there. I can't convey it into words, but if I create all of my high commercial intent pages, right? Like these here, roofing service. I have my roofing Kent, roofing Bromley, roofing Bexley. If I go and look up each of those, Google shows different results. If I go and look up informational, like what does a roof cost in Bromley? What does a roof cost in Bexley? What does a roof cost in Chesil? It's the same area. The median household income in that area is pretty much the same. Like this is the average cost in this area. It's far different. So what we're looking to do, all right, I digress, is we have our top level page, all right? So when we're creating our blog is only a housing page. It's a top level service. It's just like we build out of our service pages. This is a hub page. So what I'm getting at here is when I'm creating each of the individual articles, see this is a blog article. Even though you can find the link, see how these are broken up on this page? This page here is called blogging tips or roofing tips in this case. But then I'm internally linked. When I click on one of those articles, it's taken me here, right? I'm sure it's just another page. It's another opportunity page, right? But really, it's only there to support the main concept. Here's the structure I would do. So roofing services, what does a new roof cost? Okay. Inside of that page, I'm going to talk about the roofing costs that are in this area. And I'm also going to link to my top level page and I'm going to link to my location pages. So that would mean that not only am I going to have a hyperlink or an A tag pointing to my location page, service plus location page, I'm also going to have it show up on my main page. See, now I can build less informational pages. So I'm not going to outweigh my commercial pages. And we know how Google looks at that. If I have an overwhelming amount of informational content as opposed to commercial intent, right, or transactional content, what's Google reward me with? More info traffic, right? I have more pages. Well, what's your site about? Your site's about what you get traffic for. So if I have 78 pages that are informational based and I only have 20 that are commercial based, of course you're going to get more traffic for this. And then you start leaning down on the keywords that matter to you, right? And this may even have happened to you. It's happened to me. That's how I came to that conclusion. So when we're talking about creating supporting content for increasing traffic for the future, while also increasing your sales, the recommendation is build out your top level pages. And when you're creating your supporting or your blogs, I'm only creating blogs that are supporting the main idea. So what does this cost? When should I get one? How much, how much is it? Why do I need it? These types of questions. It's question-based informational intent queries. Within those pages, I'm going to go as broad as possible, right? I'm answering the query to its entirety while also talking about the locations because I want to internally link to them. I'm linking up. All right. So that's how we take care of blogs. No, I'm not going to create geo-specific blogs or to support location pages. It doesn't make sense. You end up stepping on yourself. I'd rather create one authoritative blog page as opposed to 20. It's easier. I could capture more keywords. It does very, very well. Also, what's great about what are roofing services? These types of queries generally also show up in high commercial intent SERPs. And what I mean by this is something like this, like car accident. I just know this one off the top of my head. Car accident lawyer, Baton Rouge. Here, I think this one will hit. Hey, there's my guy. All right, so here's perfect. High commercial intent, car accident lawyer, Baton Rouge. High commercial intent. What's the number one? Informational intent. Like it doesn't get any better than that, but I'm looking for other instances like what, who, why. But this best shot right up, right? I know this guy. When you start scrolling down here, Baton Rouge car accident lawyer, Baton Rouge, Baton. I'm looking for some more. Let's see if we can do this. How about best car accident? That's going to be informational, but you get the point. I don't want to drag this out. We have an informational intent. Best of is an informational intent right inside of a high commercial intent. There's tons of these. If I look up, better yet, super profitable. How about this? Truck accident lawyer, right? Let's go for this. Let's take a look down the list here. Oh, I got to get out of this because I'm very, very local right now. Generally, you'll get your what's, your how much, what does a truck accident lawyer do? These types of articles, you'll see this a lot. All I'm getting at is if I'm building my supporting content to support the main concept, a lot of times, depending on your niche and where you're targeting, you'll find that you'll end up taking 2 spots in the SERP, usually back to back. Almost sometimes you'll get a nested result. Sometimes you'll take up 2 spots in the same high commercial intent without fighting with yourself. That's the best part. So I hope this has answered all these questions. I'm out of time. I needed to be quick. I hope I didn't go too fast. This is small business website architecture. This was a guide. I hope I went through how to set up your permalink structure. I've given you examples. Oftentimes, this is how it's going to be. Number 2 is setting up my head and my foot menus. You create your structure. I always do it in a text document just like this. I figure out, is it going to be a hard silo or a floating silo? Like this right here is floating. I still have a top level page, but then I have my locations. I'm going to do the silo through internal linking. With that being said, I'm going to take this right here, top level. That's my main anchor text and a page. I'm going to put that up here. This will say roofing service. The drop down will be the location pages. Then I move on to the next service. Fascia boards, great. That's going to go up here. And then I'm going to put the drop down of the location pages. That's going to be the head. If I'm only targeting one state, one location, I'm going to dump. Like if I'm only doing one area, right? Like one state, only a few services. Like it's not going to be like, you can't have 900 pages in your footer, right? If it's within reason and it makes sense and I'm not going to compete with myself, then I'm going to repeat what I did up here down below. Okay. The next thing that we covered was how to choose structure between hard silo or flat, like choosing your architecture. How do I know what architecture type is going to be best for me, my niche, my area? What's going to perform the best? Go take a look at Google. Look up your service plus keyword. This is the same thing that we do for our locations. Service plus keyword, location plus keyword, right? Is Google rewarding different pages? It could be the same site, but are they different pages? Yes or no? If you have competing showing up, then make a decision. I need to combine them, right? This is considered the same thing. All right. Next is going to be how to continue website traffic growth. Like we just mentioned, that's what we just covered. This is going to be by creating supporting content based on the main concept. The goal here is to only write pieces of content that assist a sale, and we're only going to build them to support the main concept. How that looks literally or physically, cosmetically, is when we build this out here, supporting content blog colon. So we have brandedroofingsite.com. Roofing services, as we know, is a top level page. I'm building out informational content to support this. When I have a blog page, let me just see here, or a top level page for my blog. I don't think I wrote it out yet for them. I'm going to put roofing tips or lawyer tips or lawyer resources or whatever you want, right? What's another keyword that I can go and target that's informational or navigational intent based that I could go capture more keywords on? Like maybe it's FAQ. Maybe it's frequently asked questions. Maybe that's the name of your blog. Doesn't matter. Does it give the end user value, and can it make you more sales? Yes or no? Then that's what we call it. Because it doesn't matter. It's just another page. The only reason to have that page or the word blog and then put my stuff on, it's a housing page. So why not take advantage of it? If I'm going to have it on the site, name it questions and answers, frequently asked questions, tips, whatever you want. All we're going to do then is these supporting articles. See the structure? See the URL? I'm just going to put these right here. All I'm doing is building a hub page to go and point back to my pages that matter. I'm pointing back to the pages that make the client dollars. That's it. That's what we're doing here. And the reason why we're doing that is to convey to Google. Google's a robot. How can I tell Google, hey, look at these pages. These are important. Internal links. Internal links and repetitive keyword and variation and matchword usage throughout the site. But that's another talk for another day. It's been such a pleasure. I hope that this is valuable to you. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org for now. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I'll see you in the next one. I love you guys. Bye-bye.